Princess Regeneration Trust because it sums up all the things I rant about all the time. If I'm honest, I didn't know anything about the Princess Regeneration Trust until we embarked upon the journey of trying to find a new use for a historic building no one wanted, and halfway through that journey I happened upon the Regeneration Trust and thought, how bizarre, they seem to be doing exactly what we're doing, and that's why. And then I thought, more voices together gets the message out louder. Personally, I think heritage is everything. We are our past and our history, and it's so important that it's only without it that you realise how listless society can be. And communities are based so much on their heritage, and that is why we are here, is because of our past. And you realise actually how much it matters what we do now. The historic building we've been most involved in is Rise Hall in Yorkshire, which has been our home for about 12 years, and now we rent it out. We knew that if you could climb the mountain in terms of restoration, you have a very different building. You then have a future that you can perhaps give it, and that is the key with a historic building. It must have a purpose. I think my biggest message would be to communities and local authorities and the government to say, let people who have a vision and have money and want to restore buildings like this, let them do it. Any big building, once it's restored, it doesn't sit empty, and if it has a new purpose and a new business, you can't escape the fact that to keep it standing needs maintenance, it needs to employ people to do the maintenance, it needs people to clean it, it needs staff to run it. So you are creating employment. So any historic building which gets up and running, in whatever form it is, it will employ people. So you are creating employment on the ground. We used enormous amounts of the earth's resources building historic buildings. So whether it's a mill, or whether it's a factory, or whether it's a town hall, or a church, or a big stately home, whatever it is, it's used masses of the earth's resources and a lot of human pain and labour building it. And I feel environmentally, once you've used all those resources up, well then keep it standing, because if you can find a purpose and a use for it, in 10-20 years time it may be the perfect building for a school or a hospital or something else. But so I feel that what's the point in just saying, oh, we'll just knock it down and then in 20 years time build a new one? That's how we've ended up in the mess that we're in at the moment. It's about reuse, and that's really important, and they tend to stand empty because they haven't got a purpose and a use for now. So the absolute key with a historic building is to find use for it. Ideally, that makes financial sense, because if it's self-supporting and it's used, then it has a future, and then in 20, 30, 40, 50 years time, people can do whatever they want with it, but it's still there. Well, I think it's incredibly important to reuse our historic buildings, because we are a nanosecond in time, and we may think we're really important, but we're not. We're here for that long, and I don't personally want, in 200 years time, future generations to look back and say, oh, that was the generation that couldn't be bothered, because they just had better things to do. They were busy going shopping, and they were watching telly, and they were busy doing important things, so they just let the buildings fall down because they couldn't be bothered.